Yo, what's good? This is Casey for L King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, and you're now watching Casey for L Wrestling Takes Show. Ladies and freaking gentlemen, Wrestlemania 39 has come and gone. I sent a lot of tears on my doggone timeline, and I was laughing it up. Ladies and gentlemen, after all of the festivities we witnessed this weekend, I'm here to tell you, from KCFL Wrestling Takes, how did I walk away after watching WrestleMania 39? Ladies and gentlemen, I give this a 9 out of 10. Night 1 carried the whole show, but Night 2 was definitely there to compete. Definitely. It was a lot of situations on tonight that really didn't make any type of sense. But at the end of the day, we got the wrestling that we wanted. A lot of the people was not feeling a lot of the decisions that took place. We will talk about everything, including a surprise from Mr. Shane O'Mac. And that surprise turned into a terrible injury that really was a waste of time. And unfortunately, Bobby Lashley and LA Knight both got screwed. Big time. I saw a lot of people was upset on that. I'll talk about all of that. We got some drama to discuss. I like to say that because it seems to be the big thing of the IWC. Wrestlemania 39 is come and gone. We got some things that took place afterwards. Oscar then blew up online saying some things about what's going on. I'll talk about her situation. Finn Balor got messed up. When Edge threw that ladder in his head, I didn't realize how bad of a cut it was. Go to that man's Twitter and you will see what I'm talking about. It's a deep cut. Everybody talking about Don Callis getting busted open, getting his head cut open where you can see his skull. Man, I saw it, Finn Balor. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, we had 5. Oh, and Shayna Baszler got injured. Man, boy. But at the end of the day, my man retained. That's all that mattered to me. My guy retained. I told you he was going to retain. It felt like he wasn't because of all the shenanigans that took place tonight. They tried their best to make you think he was not going to win. Cody looked too freaking strong. We got to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Come on into the KSFL Wrestling Take show as we discuss the entire Night 2 card. We're going to go over everything from the beginning to the very end. Come on and let's join me. It's a late start because I was too busy watching. I watched the press conference. I was looking at a couple of other people's reviews. I said, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to give you my best review that I could possibly give. Appreciate everybody that tuned in on Night 1's review. Here we go. Night 2. Let's open up the show. We kick off the show. Omos and Brock, Snoop Dogg and Miz brought us back in for Night 2. They said what they had to say. They said, get ready because we're going to have a great time just like how we did on Night 1. Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin this review, I told y'all Night 1 had too many baby faces going over. Night 1 was all about the feel-good moments. I wish we could have got maybe 2 other feel-good moments on this show, but I knew it. It was too many baby faces. Night 1 was all about the feel-good moments. So that told me that Night 2, we was going to walk away. A lot of people was going to be walking away crying, upset, mad. People actually doing death. They giving death threats to Roman. Y'all take wrestling too doggone serious. Just because you didn't like a certain outcome, now you finna go run to that wrestler's page and tell them that you're going to kill him. Y'all is crazy. Some wrestling fans are some of the most dumbest people on the planet. Go outside and touch grass or something. I mean, that's just sad. That's pathetic. I mean, my goodness, man. Brock Lesnar and Omos. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a lot of people that was praying on Omos's downfall. I knew Omos wasn't winning. But for the 5 minutes that it did not overstay its welcome. Omos and Brock, it was not that bad. It wasn't the best match on the show, but it was not that bad. The fans who like this type of spectacle, the little man takes out the big giant. That's the big WrestleMania thing. They like to do that. They've been doing it for years. Omos was getting it in. Omos was doing work. He was damaging Brock's back. And he tried to lift him. Omos said, no, sir, you're not going to lift me. I know you want to do the doggone Suplex City in the F5. It's not going to work. And he tried. He took them out. Brock Lesnar is a great seller. I can't stand his behind, but he's a great seller. I told you, when Brock Lesnar want to work, if he wants to work, he showcases why he's one of the best in the game. I'm giving Brock Lesnar props. Now, as we move on to the matchup, Omos getting the best. About to try to do the vice grip or whatever he's going to try. Brock Lesnar said, Brock Lesnar finally suplexed him. He suplexed him. Omos said, oh no, you think that's going to be enough? Then he suplexed him again. Then he tried the F5 and Omos said, nope. So then he tried it again. Then Brock Lesnar was successfully able to F5 him. F5's him, 1, 2, 3, match over. So we had a lot of people, especially in my community, complaining, talk about this looked like white supremacy. This felt anti-black. Ladies and gentlemen, Well, y'all must forget what company we watching. This is the E. Y'all know how they get down. Y'all should already knew. Everybody knew that Omos was not beating Brock. Come on. Brock came in, did what he had to do, and get the heck out. Just like Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles did what he had to do on night one. He got the heck up out of here. Same thing with Brock. Come in, make Omos look good. Boom. F5. We out. We out. You know, that's all I can say about that. So, now I didn't even talk about this man on night one, but he was on commentary doing the men's showcase. He came out there and he was on commentary again for the triple threat, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was he out there for the tag team? No, he came out there for the triple threat. Talk about Titus O'Neil. But we're gonna talk about it. So the women's showcase, listen, y'all. Even with Omos and Brock not being the best, the women's, like I said, the women's, and I'm gonna talk about Shane when I get to it. It's a toss up on what was the worst match of the night. It's a toss up, and the ladies, they tried to do what they could, but the situation that happened, Shayna, I'm not even sure exactly what it was. I'm not sure. Shayna messed her foot up or something. So, because Ronda and Shayna was out the match most of the time. It was basically Chelsea Green, Sonya Deville, Liv Morgan, Raquel, Natalya, and Shotzi. They was basically doing everything. And I saw that Shayna took off her shoe. And next thing you know, Ronda gets up in there, and I think she tapped out. Was it Shotzi or was it Liv Morgan? It was one or two. Or was it Sonya? It was one of them. She tapped them out, and so they win the women's showcase. It wasn't really that good, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, I'm gonna give the girls props. They tried their best, but when they don't get behind the women, when they don't allow the women to actually get people to care about their circumstances or their storylines, it's gonna be tough to watch their matches. And I look, the girls, they go out there and they try their best to give it their all. I'm not finna sit up on and hate on the women, because that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people just like to hate on women's wrestling, period. And I understand a lot of people say women's wrestling doesn't sell and all this stuff. I say, if you get behind the women wrestlers, people are going to come to see them. And I know people say, well, people just, all they care about is the eye candy and all that stuff. Look, if a girl look good, fine. But can she wrestle? Can she tell me a story? In the ring, on the mic, that's all we care about. It's the same way I treat the men. I treat the men and the women the same exact way. And even with Ronda and Shayna winning in a very lackluster way, Shayna got injured. I'm not sure the situation of an injury or whatever, but Ronda and them win. I called it. I knew they would win. So that's that. So we get to, So they had Bobby Lashley come out there. They showed him winning the Andre Battle Royal. I call it the jobber match because that's exactly what it was. They had him come out there and lift that jobber title up because they know they screwed him up. He got screwed. LA Knight got screwed. No LA Knight at all. I'm mad. And all this because Bray Wyatt. I mean, it's messed up, man. It's so messed up. The fact that Mia's got 2 matches, but you couldn't have LA Knight and Bobby Lashley on the show. Terrible. Terrible decision. Terrible. Very terrible. This is a downgrade. I told you. Night 1, cook. Night 2, they was very stale until we got to the triple threat, which I'll talk about. But yeah, they had Bobby come out there, lift that jobber title up, that little jobber trophy. You know, it ain't gonna mean nothing, because everybody who wins the Andre Battle Royal crap, they go nowhere. They've been doing this for years and it's gone nowhere. It's just a rinky-dink jobbers settlement that you won, and it really didn't take place at WrestleMania like how they used to in the past. It's a joke. So then you got Xavier Woods and up, down, talking about what's going to happen in the triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship between Drew, Gunther, and Sheamus. Now, I just knew. I said, this is Sheamus' time. If you want to call another feel-good moment, this is it. Sheamus has been gunning for this situation. He's been gunning. People going to say, well, Gunther is looking great and he needs to retain. No, he didn't. Like, what else is Gunther going to do with the Intercontinental Championship, y'all? He's not going to do anything. He's not. So Xavier Woods and them they showed a little prequel of who gonna win. They kind of trying to pull a Madden thing, because that's what Madden does every time before we go to the Super Bowl. Madden tell you who gonna win, and whoever Madden say 9 times out of 10 they end up losing. Well, that's exactly what happened. Xavier Woods and them had Drew McIntyre win the Intercontinental Championship. Didn't happen. Drew comes out, Sheamus comes out, Gunther came out. They all in the ring. It started off Drew and Sheamus doing what they usually do. Gunther get in there. They all just smacking each other's chests left and right. Boom. And I'm be 1,000%. The triple threat for me started off very slow because I've seen Drew and Sheamus fight 18 million thousand times. I said, y'all gonna have to do something. Finally, Gunther got up in there. Gunther started cuffling up with him. He started cuffing it up with Sheamus. Then he started cuffing it up with Drew. And they mixing it up. Crowd going nuts. Titus O'Neil sitting over there sounding like a complete clown on commentary. I mean, he over there with Michael Cole and Corey Graves. They all sounded goofy doing this match. It sounded silly. Trying to make this match like it was the best thing since sliced bread. They killing it. They doing what they got to do. They finally picking it up. They picking it up. And I'm sitting up and saying to myself, Sheamus must win. Sheamus must win. Bro kick here. Drew does what he does. You think Gunther going to lose? Gunther said, nope. And here's the deal. Gunther didn't even need to cheat. That's what shows you how great Gunther is. Imperium didn't even need to get involved. Gunther won this like a straight boss. I'll give him props on that. He won it like a straight boss. But this was Sheamus' time. Sheamus and them lost. Sheamus lost. Drew McIntyre was the one that got pinned this time. Drew got pinned. Sheamus, Gunther retains his championship. And I was sitting up saying to myself, why? Why do we keep doing this with Sheamus? If Sheamus is not going to win the Intercontinental Championship, he needs to quit chasing for it. This was the perfect opportunity for it to happen. I don't care. People say, well, he's only at 297 days. The man he's elevated the Intercontinental title. It's back to relevancy on that man. Gunther could have put this man over. He just chose not to. This was Triple H's call. Triple H said, nope, I'm not. This was a prime opportunity. Because, see, a lot of fans, the way how they reacted about the main event, this is how I was reacting about Gunther retaining. Because I said, no. I said, what's the point of Sheamus even going for the title now? There's no point. There's absolutely no point. What are we going to do? Continue to run Drew and Sheamus for the 18th billion time again? I'm not going to care because I've seen it over and over and over. And people say, well, it's a great match. Yeah, but I've seen it too much. When matches get spreaded out, I'm cool with that. But when you do it week in, week out, over and over again. So now the question you have to ask yourself, who's going to beat Gunther? Because that's the biggest question now. The biggest question is, who is going to dethrone Gunther? Who? We don't know. We don't know. But this right here is when things started picking up. Like I said, the match for me started off slow. It turned out to be a decent triple threat. It wasn't like, let me tell you something. Everybody expected this matchup to be the show stealer. Not really, because I've seen it. I've seen Drew, Sheamus. I've seen Gunther, Sheamus. I've seen Gunther, Drew. Now, when you mix them all up, you think, oh, this is going to be bananas. This is going to be phenomenal. And it was decent. It was good. But I think this was the wrong outcome. This is just my honest opinion. I think Sheamus should have won. Sheamus should have got the IC title. It was his perfect time. That crowd would have marked out. This would have been a perfect opportunity for him to do it, and they didn't do it. So I'm going to say this is one L right here on Triple H when it comes to good matches but wrong results. That's just me. So, let's see. So then we go right into Asuka and Bianca. Asuka and Bianca, let me tell y'all something. So, before I talk about this matchup, let's talk about the entrances. Asuka came out. She had all her girls wearing her dragon masks and all that stuff with the coats and everything. So I'm sitting up here saying to myself, okay, this is Asuka's time. This is Asuka's. Like, Asuka has to get it done. She must win. Like, I know my sister. I know Bianca. I love Bianca. But I said Bianca done had this title for a long time. They even said that she'd have made it to a full year. Bianca comes out, but she has, I forgot where these young ladies was from. I don't know if these was from, I forgot where they was a group of dancers. That's what I know. And the little girls, they look good. They all look like Bianca. I was like, go ahead. I said, Bianca is a pro when it comes to these interests. I got to give her nothing but props. The baby girls is out there dancing, doing what they had to do. And then there was this one little girl that was doing the front flips or whatever. And she was extremely flexible where she flipped the whole body over where she was holding her legs. Well, I'm going to talk about that little special girl because something serious took place the previous day about somebody in her family. And I'm going to talk about why that may have possibly been the reason why we got the result that we did. right off the jump, Asuka and Bianca was fast hitting. It was so fast paced. Asuka and Bianca was like, hey, Charlotte and Rhea, they put on the classic. We gotta up the ante. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they was heading that way. They was going there, and then halfway down, the two of them started slowing down. And I was sitting up and saying to myself, man, if only they could have told the story about mind games versus brute strength. This what this whole storyline could have been about. Asuka has never lost to Bianca. That could have been another area that they could have went with. You could have got people to be more invested in this match. I knew the match was going to be great. I knew it was. Now, when it comes, I'm going to tell you how I feel when it comes to which of the women's matches were better. I'll talk about that when I get there. But the story was sitting right at the table. Asuka, she's going with this murder clown kind of gimmick. Mind games. I don't just want her to be spewing goo. And people act like Asuka can't speak English. Yes, she can. She's been with the E for a long time. She can. She can talk great English. You could have played up this game about mind control or mind games over Bianca saying, yeah, you going to do this, but I am who you know what she always says. I am the strongest, whatever, all that crap. Like, they could have had fun with it, but you already know they just, they don't care about women that don't look like the status quo, if you get my drift. So, they went outside the ring, and my goodness, man, Bianca lives up to that name. When she says that she is she ain't playing. She is not playing about that, and they played up to that. They played up to the strengths, but Asuka was just one step ahead. Asuka would catch her off guard, and then she would try to go, and then she would think, and you can tell throughout the match, Bianca was getting frustrated. Bianca was like, it was not about to be no easy way out. So Bianca was like, no, I ain't finna let this girl get the best of me. And Asuka was one step ahead, one step over, one step. And so fans they was split. They was like, let's go Asuka EST. Let's go Asuka EST. They was very split. And I'm watching this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I was on the edge of my seat. I really was. I was like, okay, they got me invested. I just wish the storyline actually, they put forth an effort. This is what I'm going to get on Triple H in the case when I get there. But overall, like I said, they going. Bianca tried to pull the KOD. Asuka turned that into an angle lock. She had an ankle. She was trying to make her submit. Then Bianca reversed that. I said, okay. I said, these girls, they going. They going. And then Asuka tried to do it again. They went up there to the ropes. They said, nope. Bianca said, no, I'm not finna let you do this. Bianca, even though Bianca was struggling, she was paying close attention to what Asuka was doing. See, Asuka is supposed to be the mastermind mind trick woman with this new persona that she's supposed to have, right? And she even tried. She even got some miss, but she missed. And even my referee girl, I don't even know her name, she almost got hit, but she moved out the way. So Bianca was able to get her, and I think that was when she did the KOD, and Bianca ends up winning. I was like, wow, Bianca went over. I said, well, this is the first time in WrestleMania history that not only did Bianca, but her husband and Dawkins all win on the same show. I say, man, can't be mad at that. Bianca is now officially 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. She's making the case for herself to be Miss WrestleMania. She's making that case. She's 3-0. She is 3-0 at WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know what they're getting ready to do with Bianca. But Bianca wins. So I was saying to myself, I said, I think Asuka should have went over. Well, found out. Remember that little girl I told y'all about doing the entrance that did the little flip that she flipped the legs over because she was flexible? Her mother passed away the previous night. So I think Asuka was supposed to go over. Asuka was supposed to win, y'all. But I think because of the girl's mom passing, I guess they wanted her to, take that off of her mind, like by seeing her idol, her hero, Bianca, go over WrestleMania. And it's unfortunate for Asuka because we as the black community be crying about us being screwed over in big pay-per-views or whatever. How the Japanese folk be getting screwed over all the time. They get screwed over all the time. And it goes to what Asuka said. Asuka went on her Twitter, and she didn't hold back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't know. Maybe this could be kayfabe, because, see, now, shout out to my main man. If they do this on Raw, King Mike would be right again. King Mike said Bianca goes over. And then on Raw, because what she said, she sounded like she was ticked. She said, maybe I should leave and go back home to Japan because I'm tired of this BS. I'm tired of this boring women's division. She just straight plainly came out with it. I don't know if that's kayfabe or not. But if it's kayfabe, I'm going to use that tomorrow on Raw. On Raw, Bianca comes out. She says, you know what? Me and Asuka put on a great match. But I'm actually here to give Asuka a rematch right now. I want her to do it and may the best woman win. And they shake hands, right? Then Asuka goes in. Asuka, they have listen, I don't want it to be like how Becky and Bianca was at Summer Joke. At least 10 minutes. Let them give 10 minutes off. And then heel persona, murder clown Asuka dethrones Bianca on the Raw after WrestleMania, and then she murders Bianca. This is exactly what King Mike talked about. Shout out to King Mike because he was on point. She murders Bianca, and this is what takes her off TV. Then you can have the draft and have her get drafted over to SmackDown after she gets through filming her little show with Montez. It's the perfect design. It's perfect. Makes perfect sense. This way, even though people going to say, well, how come y'all didn't do it last night? I just told you why they didn't do it. Because of the young little girl's mother passed away. I didn't even know this. Triple H talked about it in the press conference. That's why I found out. Triple H talked about it in the press conference. He broke down crying. And I think they called it audible. Asuka was supposed to win. Asuka should have been the new Raw Women's Champion. But because that situation, Asuka, even though she was ticked off online, she was a good sport. She went through with it. It's unfortunate, but that's that. So, ranking the two women's matches. What was the better of the two? I love Bianca. I love Asuka. But I'm going to give the nod to Charlotte and Rhea. It started off fast paced. It was the opposite of what Charlotte and Rhea. Those two started slow, but then they picked up and they had an epic match last night. These two started off fast, but then they slowed down a little bit. And then they picked it up and then boom, and then boom, and then. Now, I'm going to tell you this. They neck and neck. Both of them is neck and neck. Now, when it comes to ranking Bianca's matches at WrestleMania, you can put them in any order. Sasha Bianca, great. Becky Bianca, great. Asuka Bianca, great. You can put them in any order you want to. Bianca is making the case that she is Miss WrestleMania. Real talk. Now, my deal about Bianca now is they need to get us to care about Bianca. Because it seems like when it comes to Bianca, it seems like they somewhat do good by making you want to see Bianca win the championship when she's chasing the championship. But once she gets it, they don't put forth the effort in getting behind her. It's the same thing with Asuka. Now, if they go the route that King Mike was talking about, make Asuka this devious murder, whatever you want to call her, go on this epic run, and she needs to at least make it through Now, she has to make it through WrestleMania. I don't want her to get to WrestleMania and drop the championship because of that post that she said. You can go to her Twitter page, go to Asuka's Twitter page and read what she said, because I saw what she said and I was like, dang, that's messed up. I don't know if she on kayfabe mode. I don't know. But if she in kayfabe mode when she said what she said, this leading to something. This is leading to what King Mike was talking about. So, that's that, man. So, like I said, as right here, WrestleMania is picking up for me. Because I legit was at a 0 out of 5. I didn't start ranking anything until the triple threat. Excuse me. So, the triple threat, I gave it a 1. Asuka and Bianca, they pushed me up to a 2. So, I'm moving on. We moving on. Then we get this unfortunate situation. Miz and them talked about the situation about him going against Pat McAfee yesterday. They talked about that tonight's audience was up to 81,395. So over 160,000 people pulled up to SoFi Stadium. That's great. Kudos to them. So Snoop Dogg and Miz was getting into it. Miz said, it's your fault that I had that match yesterday. I wasn't completely ready. And you was out of pocket. And they said, hold up, man. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? You out of pocket? I'm going to have you go against somebody again right now. Ain't nobody in their right mind thought Shane O'Mac was coming back. Shane O'Mac came out. That crowd went nuts. He came out the woodwork, and I said to myself, this was a perfect spot for LA Knight, man. Perfect spot. And you decided to go with Shane O'Mac. Don't get me wrong. It was good to see Shane. And I was sitting up saying to myself, Shane is coming back to get the revenge that, remember, he won against The Miz at Wrestlemania 35, if I'm not mistaken. And he lost, right? So you could say Shane coming back to get his revenge. Y'all, the match didn't even start. Shane get into the match. He get into the ring. And the man, as soon as he started to do his little jolly, little goofy thing, the man tore his quad, y'all. He tore his quad. I said, oh my goodness. You talking about on the spot booking. I said this is an unfortunate, unnecessary situation. This is the fourth or fifth unnecessary situation we had this weekend. It all started at the Ring of Honor show with Dante breaking his leg. Then you had Tiffany Stratton. They didn't catch her in the ladder match at Stand and Deliver. Then you had Shane, and then you had Shayna messing her ankle up or whatever. I said all these unnecessary situations. I get it. Accidents happen in wrestling. Injuries happen. It's a part of the sport. But my goodness, all of these situations was avoidable, ladies and gentlemen. All of them. Ain't nobody thought we was going to walk away. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but five. I'm going to talk about the fifth when I get to it. This was unnecessary. It was good to see Shane, and then boom. So Snoop Dogg, you talk about on the fly booking. He got into it with The Miz, and the two of them decided to say, let's go ahead and have a match. And he didn't phase. They was like, okay, let's go ahead. We got to call it out. But Shane got hurt. Let's go ahead and do it. And so Miz and Snoop Dogg, they got out there. They did what they had to do. Snoop got him. Snoop did the quote unquote Snoop bottom. It wasn't a rock bottom. It was Snoop bottom. And he beat him, you know. I got to say kudos to them for not panicking during the situation by just, okay, we got to go on the fly booking. Boom. Then we get to Edge and Finn Balor. Now, before the match, they was advertising this new satanic film called Pope or something or whatever, starring Russell Crowe. I don't watch this satanic stuff, y'all. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, look, y'all know me. I'm a born again believer. I believe in the Most High God, the one Elohim, Jesus Christ. Yes, y'all understand that these creators that go or whenever they come up with these satanic movies or whatever, they had to go to a demonic place. You're not finna just come up with this off the top of the dome. You had to go to a very demonic place to come up with these demonic horror films that they be coming up with. So they used that as the advertisement for this matchup because it was quote unquote Hell in a Cell, and you had Edge getting his inner demon and Finn Balor bringing back the demon Finn and all that stuff, right? So it was word going out that Gangrel and potentially Christian may pull up. They did. Edge came out with this extra demonic satanic clown looking outfit on with this holographic looking skull and the wings and all this stuff, and yeah, it is what it is on that. And then he came to the ring. Then Finn Balor came out there and he came back with the demon Finn and changed his music back to when he was a babyface, and crowd went nuts. They doing the you know how the music go, right? I'm gonna be 1,000% with y'all. I thought that this was the best matchup between these two ever since they got started. And I don't know, talking to my main guy on Twitter, G Nation, wasn't feeling it. Reason why I got into it, because we had the blood. WWE is very scarce on when it comes to blood. You know they don't like to use it no more. They very scarce. They should use it when it calls for it, and this matchup called for it. However, an unfortunate situation that happened, even though they just kept going. These two was tearing each other up, beating the brakes off each other. Edge went and got a doggone ladder. He throws the ladder and it hits Finn Balor dead square in the skull right here. Now, I didn't really think that it was that bad of a wound. Finn Balor posted on Twitter, he thought it was just a flesh wound. Man, you can see the boy's skull. You can see that boy's skull. I said, God dang. I mean, man, I was like, dog. But these two, listen, for me, I know a lot of people thought it was cheesy. A lot of people weren't feeling it. They same, that it is what it is. I thought the two of them did good. Edge doing what he had to do. Finn Balor, even when he was leaking all over the place, he still brought the best out of Edge. I thought they did a great job, and nobody got involved. Nobody. Judgment, they did not get involved. It was just them in the cell doing what they had to do. You had all these purple and red chairs and tables and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, I know the cell was back to its normal color, which was great. That red cell was terrible. That was a terrible decision by Vince and them. I don't know why he did that. It was stupid. Triple H turned it back to the regular cell. Great. The blood, great. That's when it calls for it. This is the thing that Tony Khan, John Moxley, and all those circus clowns over in the AEW land. You do not need to overdo it with the blood. Yes, blood and wrestling go hand in hand. You don't need to always do it all the time. This was a perfect time to do it. It's held in the cell, and boom. Now, the outcome. I had Finn Balor winning. I really did. But the whole point is Edge must overcome his demon, which is Finn Balor. He must finish this. He must. And plus, I thought about it. This is the Edge final WrestleMania, because Edge said he retiring towards the end of 2023. So I guess they decided, you know what? Finn Balor was a good sport about it. They finished it. This was it. Edge and Finn Balor going their separate ways. It's done. Edge defeats the Demon. Now, it's unfortunate that every time they bring Demon Finn back, Demon Finn is just a complete joke. Hey, it is what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting up here saying to myself, baby faces have dominated this show. We have only had 2 heels that won. Baby faces have dominated. They dominated night 1 and they dominated night 2. And we have not had one single title change, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to the doggone main event. We are going there. So Kayla talked to Bianca. And Bianca talked about how she did what she did. Fans was quote unquote booing. They mad. So then that's when Kayla brought in the little girls that was very happy. They was excited. Y'all already know what that represents. It's the representation. The sisters, the young sisters, they look up to somebody like Bianca. Listen, when the representation is done right and it feels like it's genuine, I don't have a problem with it. I do not have a problem with it. This is what I talk about. I talk about making things feel like they genuine. Don't overdo it. Just make it feel genuine. Don't just, oh, look, we got somebody black on the show. No. Make it feel like it matters. You understand what I'm saying? When it comes to the whole race thing. Make it feel like it's a genuine situation, and then you go through with it. But the little girls, they were very happy to be with Bianca. And then, like I said, the baby girl, she lost her mama. And I think they called her audible. That's what I'm going with. I'm sticking with that. And it's unfortunate that Asuka said what she said on Twitter, because she sounded like she ready to go home. She ready to just be done with WWE. But I'm going to go off on a limb and say that she in kayfabe. And this is just the beginning of her officially going full-fledged heel, because it was a tweener. She is a tweener. You know, Bianca's this ultimate powerful baby face. And she didn't go over. I'm doing the matchup again on Raw. The Raw at the WrestleMania is going to be Bianca and Asuka again. And then Asuka wins, but she wins in very devious fashion. She must. She has to. So Bianca's reign ends on the Raw after WrestleMania tonight, because it's Monday morning. It's late as heck after I'm doing this review. But that's what I'm doing, Then we get the Hall of Fame class. The Hall of Fame class, which consists of Tim White, Rey Mysterio, the Great Muta, Stacy Keibler, and Andy Kaufman, if I'm not mistaken. Great 2023 class. They all was out there except for Andy Kaufman, because, he passed away, so his family would represent him. Great class. Short, sweet. They all was out there. Then they just basically gave us a recap of Seth Rollins and Logan, and then they showcase next year WrestleMania 40. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not. There's just something I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Your boy might try to pull up next year. I don't know. I've never done this before. I don't know. It's up in the air because I've been thinking about it for a long time. I said, man, I've been watching this crap. Let's see, ever since 21? 21 was my very first one. I've been watching this for 18 years now. I said I've never been to one. I've met so many different people that's in the IWC who've done it. I got a co-worker of mine that goes every year. I said, man, maybe I don't know. I'm not saying I am. I'm just thinking about it. You know, that's that. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the main event. Finish the story. Cody Rhodes, must finish his story. Cody comes out, pyro, fireworks, up the ante. The intro was dang near about 15 minutes. Come out there, the crowd is behind them. They do the whoa. You already know. That crowd was so pro Cody Rhodes, it didn't make no sense. He was the systematic favorite. This was one of the, when I heard that Cody was so, favorite. I was like, dang. I said, hey, don't nobody think Roman gonna win. The odds was stacked against him, quote unquote, right? Go down there, whole family front row, sister, his mama, Brandy, baby girl Liberty, picked her up, she hugged her, she took the doggone headset up, and sitting next to them was an unmasked -1 Brody Lee Jr. in the house. And I really didn't pick up. I was like, who that little boy? Because I was so used to him with the -1 mask on. Brody Lee Jr. was in the house, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm thinking to myself, man, are they going to do it? There's no titles have changed tonight. Night 2 had no titles changed. I expected 2. I expected Oscar and I expected Sheamus to win. But when neither one of them went over, I said, uh-oh. I said, Roman in trouble. Roman is in freaking trouble. Cody in the ring. Roman has, I was thinking to myself, I said, I wonder if he's going to have some kind of orchestra or something play him out. He has several people playing his music on piano. I said, that's great. This is great. This is epic. This is awesome. I'm loving it. The man comes out. No Usos, by the way. You didn't hear a peep from them at all. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, early in the day or last night, The Rock decided to cut a promo talking about, hey, you never know, I might be there, teasing. And everybody like, uh-oh, is The Rock doing it to us again? Yes, he is. Doing it to us again. We had 2 rock bottoms take place. We had Snoop do it, and I'm going to talk about Roman doing one in the matchup. Roman comes out, final boss mode, Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, they come into the ring, taking a sweet time. Fans are booing. I'm loving it. I said, man, Roman theme song go in, y'all. I love that theme song. I didn't think I would like that man's theme song this much. The boy theme song go in so bad, man. I'm telling you, heard me playing it in the intro. Well, it's not, well, yeah, it was the intro of the video, but anyway. He's taking his sweet time to get to the ring. So he officially get in there. They standing in there. Fireworks go off as he left up the titles again. Got his very cocky attitude. Meanwhile, Cody looking like he ready to get his hands on him. He ready. Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you, I was like, I wasn't sure how this matchup was going to be. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns may have been Roman's best main event in WrestleMania. Out of all his WrestleManias, outside of WrestleMania 31, Cody gave Roman one of the best main events in WrestleMania, outside of him and Brock, and then the potential cash in from Seth from 31. Look, you talk about on the edge of your seat. Cody and both Roman were both struggling like a mug, and you knew the cheating was going to take place. You knew it. You knew it. Solo Sikoa right there. Paul Heyman playing his little antics, telling Roman, you're the tribal chief. You know better. You know you're not supposed to be losing to this man. You need to get your behind in there and handle the biz. He's playing up his role perfectly. Meanwhile, my ref guy is not even paying no attention to Solo. And then the fans are upset because Solo keep getting this. He keep finding a way to sneak in, do little sneaky stuff to Cody. And fans is like, oh, no. Michael Cole, let me tell you something about Michael Cole and Corey. Michael Cole, man, Michael Cole, I got to give this boy his flowers. That boy has elevated himself so much. He was on fire. He was on fire night 1. He was on fire night 2. Cole, bravo to Michael Cole. And he said he giving us 4 more years, ladies and gentlemen. We better enjoy this. We better enjoy these last 4 years of Michael Cole in the commentary booth. I see why Vince and them is placed him as the number 1 guy. And Triple H, oh my goodness, wonders. Done wonders, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Cole was in his bag, man. Throughout this entire matchup, both men looked like they had the potential to walking out. Cody getting his licks in. Roman looking like he's frustrated because he needs somebody to help him out because he can't win on his own. He can't. Cody outdoing everything that Roman throws his way. Even with all the cheating that Solo was going on. Solo cheated 3 times, and on that 3rd time, he used Cody's belt. And my referee heard it. First, he used the chair to hit him in the ribs. And then that last time, he used Cody's belt. And my referee heard it. And he looked at him. And Michael Cole's like, yeah, kick his butt out. Get him out. Get him out of there. Get him out. My referee was like, Solo, you disqualified. He kicked his behind out. That crowd went nuts. They went crazy. I said, man, listen, y'all. I'm watching this and I'm sitting there. I said, oh man, this is good. I said, this is great. I said, this is what you want. You want your storytelling, man. You want your story. That's all. You get your story. You're gonna be invested. The main event of night 1 was excellent, but this one takes the cake, ladies and gentlemen. This one takes the cake. So with Solo gone, the playing fields have been even, and Paul Heyman with his facial expressions and doing all the crazy clown antics that he like to do. Crazy Cartoon Network clown he is. I mean, just crazy. So there was a spot that took place where Cody was about to kick Roman. Roman moves out the way and he kicks the ref. I said, oh boy, here come the shenanigans. Here come the freaking shenanigans, ladies and gentlemen. The shenanigans are here. And boom, right on schedule. The Usos, without their titles, make the save for Roman. My ref is laid out, and they start D1 Cody. They beat the brakes off him. They D1. And then the fans go nuts because you know who coming to the rescue. Both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn came out to rescue, and they came and beat the brakes off that man. They came to tear that man up, and tear those men up. They tore the Usos up, right? And as they kicked the Usos out, they was able to get their licks in on Roman. Kevin Owens did a stunner, and then Sami Zayn did his little kick or whatever you call it, right? So all Cody has to do is get the pinfall. My referee dude eventually wakes up because they get rid of the Usos, they get them. So obviously you know this is a continuation. This is not over. I think the main event for WrestleMania Backlash is going to be a 6-man tag team match. No titles on the line or nothing. 6-man tag team match. The Bloodline versus Cody and Kevin and Sami Zayn. I believe that's the matchup. Fans is like, okay, this is it. He does the crossroads. Oh, this thing it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Nope. So Roman took advantage of that. Roman said, look, I'm about to put you in the chokehold. He put him in the chokehold. Cody said, he said he was dripping. My referee picked this off. He said, no. That crowd was like, no, we root for Cody. Cody got to get this done. So then he put him in the triangle clutch or whatever. I forgot what it's called. He put him in that move. And he had him in there for a long time. But Cody got out. And that crowd was like, oh, man. Roller coaster, emotional. I mean, man. I said, he throwing everything at him. Everything. Superman punches. Not working. I mean, spearing the man. Not everything. He's everything in the book. So, as soon as Cody got the upper hand, Cody's about to do the crossroad on Romans. Paul Heyman with his circus clown behind hops up on the ropes, distracting the ref. And who comes out with a hoodie on? The man that Cody Rhodes said was not ready. He said this man was not ready. He kept saying it. You're not ready, Solo. You're not ready. Solo Sikoa comes out the woodwork, thumbs him. Roman does the spear. 1, 2, 3. The entire arena, the energy. So many people on my timeline was somewhere crying, complaining, upset, mad than a mug. I said, ladies and gentlemen, Cody did struggle. He struggled in his match for sure, but he didn't struggle to get there. He looked too dominant, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't understand why this fool was completely favored. I said, why is he predominantly favored? Yeah, he looks strong. He looks like he's going to be the guy. No, not right now, ladies and gentlemen. He has not struggled. Those garbage video packages didn't do him no favors. Him talk about, I'm going to get in the Royal Rumble, not making it a surprise. We knew it. I told y'all when he tore his pec in the hip, before the Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins, he tore his pec. I said, ladies and gentlemen, that is your Royal Rumble winner. I knew it. I told y'all Cody was going to be the one. However, the road to the Rumble and everything that took place was a complete lackluster. It was just lackluster, ladies and gentlemen. Lackluster. He did not struggle. Number 30? Come on. And y'all want me to be invested in him? He's the going? No, not right now. Not right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's about the build-up. Now, I'm going to talk about Triple H now before I get back to talking about this situation. Could you imagine the Triple H then would have put forth an effort in building the WrestleMania 39? Same thing I said about Tony Khan and Revolution. The same thing. It's the build-up that makes people care about paying for the pay-per-view or tuning into Peacock. And speaking of which, let me talk about it. So word came out that the company that's in cahoots with UFC, I think it's called Endeavor or Endeavor or whatever, they seem to be the next buyers of the E, which means Vince McMahon will still be the executive producer or the executive chairman. Not sure where Triple H is going, but here's the deal. I don't actually have a problem with them taking over, but my deal is this. If the deal goes down, because they said the deal might be going down today. If the deal goes down, the only situation that I'm not really sure about is the pay-per-view situation. Will the shows still stay on Peacock? Because when it comes to the pay-per-views, if you know how the UFC work, it's the same way with boxing. It's the same way with AEW, how they do their situation. You're going to be paying close to $60 to $70. So I'm like, if that's the case, when it comes to WWE, it's only 4 WWE pay-per-views I'm getting. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Those are the only 4. The other ones, I just have to figure out some other kind of way to get them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you both if it's true. If that's where we're going. Because I'm already paying all the money for the AEW pay-per-views and all this stuff. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I'm a person that believes in more than enough. I got a guy that supplies all my needs according to his riches and glory to Christ. So I know it. It ain't the money thing, but I'm not going to be sitting up here just paying all this money for absolute nothing. And plus, I know how the content that WWE is, because a lot of times they don't really put forth an effort in what they do, even on pay-per-view. Now, I got to give them props. WrestleMania, 9 out of 10 for me. 9 out of 10. Solid WrestleMania. Very good. I'll put this up here with Revolution. Was it better than Revolution? I'm going to tell you this. You can make up your mind. It's up there. Some people are going to say, yeah, WrestleMania 39 was better than Revolution. Some people will say, no. I'm right there in the middle. I'm at the middle ground. I've told you I'm a very unbiased AEW fan. I just like pro wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. I just like pro wrestling. If somebody is giving me a show and they making me care, they making me get invested, I'm going to tune in. Regardless if it's Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage, Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan Wrestling, you name it. I'm going to tune in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tune in. But Cody didn't struggle, ladies and gentlemen. And there was a shot. You seen Cody looking distraught. He looked defeated. And I said, that's a perfect shot. You want him to question himself as, man, I thought I was going to do it. I thought I was going to be the guy, and I wasn't. And there's a lot of people say it don't matter him beating Roman at SummerSlam. And ladies and gentlemen, who to say it's not him? Who's to say Jay is the one to do it? I think that would be a better end of a bloodline situation. That's just me. I could be wrong with two left shoes, and we could be doing Cody and Roman again at Summer Joke. But if it's me, I'm booking this stuff. Main event Jay, it's his time, ladies and gentlemen. It's his time. We need to get Sammy and Jey Uso back on the same page. I can't wait for that to happen. I can't wait. Is that how we get introduced Rock into the picture? Don't know. I don't know. But you got to stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. The heartbreak finale of WrestleMania 39 left so many people upset, angered, mad, sending my man Roman Reigns death threats on some idiotic, stupid stuff. I said Cody wasn't ready, ladies and gentlemen. He kept saying, you should have known better. He kept telling Solo, you're not ready. Solo pulled up and said, yes, sir, I am, fool. I'm about to thumb you in your throat, and you not walking out with these titles. My Cuzzo is finna win, and that's exactly what happened. That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all could be mad all you want. You could be crying. Oh, listen, 945 days. Come on, y'all. Y'all knew they wasn't finna end on no garbage 945 days. Where y'all at? Some of y'all wrestling fans are funny. Y'all too funny. Fools on TikTok, fools on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, talking all this foolishness, talk about Cody gonna walk out. Man, y'all crazy as a Beelzebub. That was the right outcome, and I don't care what nobody got to say. The man won, and that's the bottom line, because Casey Fael said so. 9 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. 4 out of 5 tonight. Night 1 definitely carried WrestleMania, but night 2 up there. I said, for me, better than 37, better than 38. WrestleMania 39 gets a plus in my book. It's a plus from Casey for Wrestling Takes. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the comment section up. You tell me how you feel. Are you upset? Are you mad? Are you triggered? Are you disgusted at Triple H and Vince McMahon for what they decided to do? Or are you like me? You say, I'm giving them props. I'm giving them nothing but props. Hit the comment section up. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. We keep it real over in Casey for Wrestling Takes. I always do. And I will see you cats tomorrow at the Monday Night Raw for the Raw after WrestleMania review. We're going to dissect everything. Man, I just wish Raw would go back to the 2 hours and 15 minutes. Hey, it's always a pleasure to come on here and talk to you cats. This is Casey for Wrestling Takes, King Self for Life, Wrestling Takes. I'm gone, y'all.